What's up, guys? Welcome back to Noper Dope Reviews. I'm Steven. Just got out of an early press screening of F1 the movie. Gotta be honest with you, I'm not a huge car enthusiast. I don't drive my car fast. Not really into that. And I don't really watch any of these movies involving cars, except for, some of the early Fast and the Furious movies. But anything involving cars on the track, haven't seen one since, honestly, Days of Thunder. And that makes me old. But this is a movie that was directed by the director of Top Gun Maverick, which was one of the breakout hits of the last couple of years over in the summer. And I was hoping for the same with this movie. And I gotta say, the action in this movie is top notch. And I'm not going to go into details. I'm not going to go into spoilers because this isn't a spoiler or non-spoiler review because the embargo hasn't lifted yet. This is just going to be a out of the theater reaction of F1 the movie. The action is top notch. I don't know how they do it. None of the scenes in this movie felt like there was any CGI to it. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong there. But the camera work, the cinematography in this movie was exhilarating. I loved how there were so many different races and every race felt like it was a new chapter in the movie. The way they put it on the screen, like Tarantino does with chapters, every race felt like a different chapter, and there was just momentum as you went throughout the movie. It just got better and better, more exhilarating. There was times in this movie I was catching my breath, holding my breath, and I was at the edge of my seat. I was rooting for Brad Pitt's character, Sonny Hayes, his teammate, JP, just the team in general. It's just a movie you had to root for. It was just exhilarating throughout. It was paced pretty well, but in the end, I did feel a little bit exhausted. There were times where there was actually a scene in the movie, again, I'm not going to go into too much, but near the end of the movie, I felt they could probably have cut out the scene and had to do with Sonny Hayes and his relationship with one of his teammates on his team. Honestly, that probably could have been just taken out completely. It had to do with a little bit of a love story that really wasn't needed, really didn't feel their chemistry, but there was chemistry with Javier Bardem and Brad Pitt. That was essentially the heart of the movie. They're friends from 30 years ago when they raced initially. This is not giving away, you probably saw in the trailer, but Sonny Hayes was injured and he's just coming back and trying to save his friend's racing team. So that's all you're going to get in terms of the plot of the movie from me. But overall, this is a great summer movie with a lot of action, great camera work. The races, again, were exhilarating. Sometimes you felt like you had to catch your breath. The pacing in general was pretty good, but it did feel pretty long at the end. Someone said this was 90 minutes. There's no way this was 90 minutes. I didn't know. I wasn't really keeping track of the time because the phones in these press screenings you have to turn off. But hey, if you love racing movies, you got to love this. If you're not into racing movies, you're going to love the movie anyways because it's just a great story. You're rooting for all the characters in this movie. There's heart to this movie. There's enough humor in this to keep you laughing. But overall, you got to go check this out.